What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be using the black cordless fast feeds. I'm going to show you guys how I fade with them, the pros and cons, and toward the end of the video I'll be giving you my thoughts and opinions on whether or not they're going to be worth your investment. First things first, we're going to knock out this haircut. We're going to start that by combing his hair in the direction that it grows. Because he does have waves, my whole fading process is going to be a bit different. We're going to be doing a mid fade on him, so with my clipper closed, I'm going to set my guideline and I'm leaving about half of his C cup so we can line that up later toward the end of the video. I'm going to go underneath about a 1/4 inch with my bevel-less trimmer. You can use your 5-0 blade, but I did this just because of the time of recording they weren't zero gaps, so this is just going to add another step from my bald line. And about another 1/4 inch below that, I'm going to take everything down to skin with my Andis foil shaver. Using my 2-guard closed, I'm going to go with the grain on the top to ensure that his hair is at a good length for his waves. With my lever open, I'm going to take it up about a full inch, if not more, just to utilize that extra throw that the lever on the clipper offers. With my lever halfway closed, I'm going to take it up about halfway into that guideline, start softening everything up, and then in my next step I'm going to take it out with my lever closed. With my lever all the way closed, I'm going to take that bottom guideline out and start cleaning everything up from this open section. Using my 1-guard, I'm going to open up my lever all the way, take that up about a full inch, and just create a new guideline for myself to blend into the 2 on top. With my 1-guard lever closed, I'm going to go ahead and start softening up that bottom guideline. This doesn't take it out, it almost does, surprisingly, because it does have a lot more throw on the lever, but I'm going to take it out with the 0-guard later on either way. my zero guard halfway closed, I'm going to start taking out that guideline. During this clip, you're going to see me opening and closing it as I need to. I'm just playing with the guideline, playing with the lever. The higher up I go with this clip, I'm going to take it up, open it up a little more. The farther down, I'm closing it up as I need to. Using my 1.5 guard all the way open, I'm going to take that up to the parietal ridge and scoop out. This is almost going to meet with that 2 closed when I went with the grain, but not quite, so we're going to take that out in a later step. With my 1.5 guard still on, I'm going to close with the lever all the way and go ahead and start taking out that bottom line that I created when I used it all the way open. Throwing on that 1 guard, I'm going to use my lever halfway and I'm going to go with the grain at the parietal ridge, scooping into the fade, and that really should be it for me. Finishing up the coat with some razor work, I'm going to show you the before and after. After that, I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on the fast feeds while showing you some more clips of me using them. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why he's looking at the camera like that. Let me know what you guys think of this fade down in the comments below. And as for my thoughts and opinions, I want to preface this by saying I never really had like one clipper, my go-to clipper. I really did like the JRLs and like the seniors, but I did kind of bounce around to see what worked for me and what didn't. Honestly, these clippers do really work for me. And to explain why they work so well, I'm going to go over the pros and cons, kind of break down what makes them so unique. I had to talk to some of my boys and watch a couple of YouTube videos to kind of take everyone's opinion into consideration before making this YouTube video. But a couple of the pros that I found were the low RPMs, there's more range on the lever, they're going to be a little more lightweight, they have a plastic body, and just overall they feel like a great clipper. Now for some of the cons, I did come into the low runtime as being an issue. 90 minutes of runtime is not too great. Low torque, they're not too powerful. The cost also being one of the bigger issues, right? The black one's costing around $230 and the burgundy one's around $200. That's pretty expensive nowadays for clippers at least. And a couple people said that they're incomparable to the OG fast feeds, which, you know, that's up for debate. It's really it's a personal preference thing. Breaking down everything I just said, I'm going to go over back to the pros, and I did mention the low RPMs, and the reason I feel like that's a pro is because anything with a lower RPM motor, it's just going to be way more forgiving as opposed to like a magnetic motor clipper, which more often than not does have a higher RPM and does exaggerate any mistakes you do make in the fade. Another benefit of the cordless fast feeds is the lever range. They do open up way more than like a traditional clipper, and I feel like that allows me to kind of skip guards. Earlier in the video, you see me go from the one open to the one closed, and that pretty much takes it out. And while that might take some getting used to, at least for like a beginner, it is something that can benefit you in the long run if you learn how to utilize it correctly. The weight of the clipper is also something to take into account. The plastic body allows this machine to be lightweight yet have that premium feel. I can really use 2 of them all day in the shop and not have a strained arm by the end of the day. And while that might be normal for most cordless clippers nowadays, it wasn't what I was expecting for the cordless fast feeds, which kind of blew my expectations out of the water. One more thing I forgot to gloss over is the noise. Being a rotary motor clipper with a pivot action, the noise isn't an issue by any means. In fact, the low hum they emit is almost satisfying. Moving over to the cons, starting with the dreadful 90-minute runtime. Honestly, in 2022, that's a bit below average, with brands like Gamma, Stylecraft, and Caliber coming out with clippers that have 4+ hours of runtime. I really feel like Osu dropped the ball on this one with the runtime at least. I've also heard they lack torque, at least from opinions I've heard of, but honestly they take down bulk on an average scale. They're also pretty different from the original fast feed with the rotary motor and extra lever throw, so it might be a bit of a different experience from the original one. Also, after watching cuts by Reggie's review, he did say the burgundy cordless fast feeds and the black cordless fast feeds cut a bit different. At first I thought he was exaggerating until I went a whole day of only using the burgundy fast feeds. They did clog up twice and they did start pulling, which is something to look out for, while on the other hand the black fast feeds left a smooth cut every time. I'm 90% sure it's the Cryon X blade on the black fast feeds leaving the smoother cut, while the standard steel blades tend to pull a bit at times. All in all though, the black fast feeds and the burgundy ones aren't too different apart, minus the discrepancy between the blades. They are really the same thing, just a different color and different colored blades, but they're the same thing essentially. Prior to using these, my favorite clipper was the JRL 2020C, following that with the X Ergo accompanied with a fusion blade and a stretch bracket, but this black cordless fast feed is so optimal for fading. I've really only been using it for these past couple days. I've waited a few days to come out with my own personal verdict, and if these can stand the test of time, I feel like they might be contender for Clipper of the Year. And to answer your question at the beginning, yes, I do feel like these black cordless fast feeds are going to be worth your investment. Maybe not so much the burgundy ones, but these black ones are one of the best clippers I've ever used. I really hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown and review. Let me know what else you guys would like to see for a future video down in the comments. Peace.
That was crazy.